Okay, so a little while ago, I made a video reacting to a bunch of angry fanboy comments left on my channel, and we're going to be doing that again today, and it's specifically going to be catered to Nintendo fanboys because recently they've been very angry with me. It seems my couple of videos I made talking about YUZU, CRY, and Emulation has really stirred the nest of Nintendo fanboys, so let's go over some of their salty comments. Now, the first Nintendo fanboy that we're going to be taking a look at has been crying in my comment section all week. He's not only been crying like in comments, but he's also been crying in replies to viewers of my channel. In fact, this guy has gotten so mad at viewers of my channel that he straight up told some of them to commit, how do I say this without getting demonetized? Toaster bathtub. Fork outlet. It's very clear to me that this kid wants my attention, so alright man, here you go. I'm gonna go ahead and react to some of your comments here and react to some replies you left to comments on my channel. Now keep in mind, not everyone that I'm gonna show that he replied to is a fanboy, but just some context is going to be needed. Alright, let's go. Now, the first comment he left is in response to something I said in my video where Harmon Smith was celebrating the lawsuit that Nintendo dropped on YUZU. In that video, I said this: "Corporate bootlickers and fanboys, you are free to get upset at this video, you're free to shake your fist in the air and scream and shout, it's not gonna change my mind." Now, he definitely didn't take this comment too kindly because he responded with this: "I don't shake my fists in the air. I just say how happy I am that Nintendo has made this decision. Nothing is sweeter to me than seeing the anger of you haters." Now, I'm confused. So I like a game so much that I decide to back up that game and preserve it so I can never lose it. And apparently that makes me a hater? Wouldn't it be the opposite because I like the game so much that I'm willing to preserve it on my PC? Now, a viewer of my channel actually commented "Nintenfed" on his comment here, and he didn't take too kindly to that. So then he replies with "you." He then makes a series of comments, each containing one letter, spelling out the word "re." You can tell by the way he immediately jumps to insulting that he was personally offended by that Nintenfed comment. Andrew here commented on my channel saying Nintendo fans are the biggest simps he's ever seen, defending a company no matter what they do despite said company not caring about them at all. And that's the thing I don't get about fanboys. They'll sit here and defend these companies, but these companies wouldn't throw a bucket of horse jizz on them. The fanboy seen this comment and said, "Cry more, bitch. YUZU gonna die," and a yellow laughing face. YUZU will not die. Sure, they might not be making any money from YUZU anymore. However, Internet Archives and, like the Wayback Machine, those exist and they're very easy to use. As I spent a lot of time explaining in my previous video, anything that's put on the internet is on there forever and there's no way to truly erase it. Not to mention the fact that, like this commenter says right here, YUZU is open source. In other words, it's impossible to die. Cry about it, kid. Now, Manchild here did not appreciate this comment. He says, "You're so autistic. No wonder why you're a Megaten fan, bitch." And a yellow laughing face. Alright, there's a few things I want to say about this comment. First of all, you immediately jump to insults, which obviously means either you're losing the argument or it hurt your feelings. Second of all, you bring up the fact that he's a Megaten fan. What does that have to do with the conversation we're having? We're talking about emulators. Third of all, who still uses insults like autistic, gay, homo? Like, what is this, 2008? These are insults I would have found funny when I was 8-9 years old. Here you are as a grown-ass man using them. What are you gonna do next? Hit me with a yo mama joke? He then left another comment saying 2.4 million, Discord closed, webpage closed, an embarrassing message on Twitter for them and you who support them. They are not dead, as you said, they still have their underwear left, laughing faces. Take care, kid, laughing face. P.S. And please never stop being so autistic. The Megaten fanbase has a reputation to uphold. Are you seriously that unoriginal that you have to use the exact same insult in 2 comments back to back? Like, how fucking lazy can you get? The other commenter then replies, at Kabulo76, if they went to court, there's a high chance they'd win if they had money. This is not the first time an emulator got sued. YUZU and its source code are still out there on GitHub. It's a matter of time until it rises again with a different team and possibly a different name. Ryujinx is still there as well. CRY runs like a charm, doesn't even need more support. People who emulate will keep emulating. Nintendo did absolutely nothing but slowing the support for YUZU and SEETHE, a nice try insulting me for something I like. I can do the same thing if I knew what games you play, so that means nothing. Enjoy your bootlicking, I hope it tastes good. So yeah, that comment speaks for itself and absolutely destroys the other kid's pathetic attempt to insult him. The Absol here comments, you know it's amazing to me that Nintendo fans can't seem to see more than a year into the future. It's not preservation. Hello, it's the basis for preservation for when Switch games become harder to get in 10 years. When the Switch will be long gone and its servers will probably be shut down, Switch emulation will be important in 10, 20, 50 years from now, especially considering Nintendo cares fuck all about preservation. Even with the whole preservation argument aside, I should have every right to do whatever I damn well please with whatever I own. I want to run my Switch collection on Android because the Switch itself is a piece of shit of hardware and the Switch has insane potential on Android for various technical reasons. I don't enjoy playing Xenoblade at 720p 30 max. Quote unquote preservation, a bunch of laughing faces, you can't be so dumb and naive, or maybe this is just a standard excuse used by the folks of the Pirate Bay. Wait, maybe you're both, laughing faces. Hey Genius, I don't think you realize that you can play games on an emulator legally. Like, if you want to go about the legal route of emulating, you still have to own the game, meaning you still have to go out and buy it, so how would it be pirating in that case? Oh wait, it fucking isn't. He then leaves another comment saying, can you write preservation one more time in your message please? It doesn't sound autistic enough otherwise. You have to keep up the Pirates of the Bay level. That literally made no fucking sense at all, but okay. Another viewer of my channel comments, I guess most fanboys can't make the difference between emulation and piracy because if they knew the difference, they would feel pretty stupid. I agree, wait until they find out they're being sold emulators with Nintendo Switch Online, they'd shit themselves. Clearly this message that he left here hit a little too close to home for our friend Kabulo over here because he left a comment letter by letter saying, bitch. You can just tell he was angry as fuck writing out that comment. I can just imagine like the little cartoon fumes coming out of his head while he's typing out that comment. On the video I made reacting to Harmon Smith celebrating the fact that Nintendo was filing a lawsuit on YUZU, this comment right here was left by one of my viewers. If Nintendo is so concerned about emulation, they should either have better backwards compatibility or just starting porting their games to PC and mobile. Now personally, I agree with this 100%. If Nintendo were to port all their games to PC, I wouldn't emulate them anymore. I'd just go ahead and buy them because I prefer to just own the game like on Steam or like Epic or something like that where it's easy to access instead of setting up emulators. And if Nintendo wanted to, they could set up their own launcher on PC where you have to go through them, and that would be completely fine as well, and I'd still buy the games that way instead of emulating. The fanboy of course cannot understand this higher level of thinking than his, and he says LOL nonsense. You say that this is nonsense, but you give absolutely no explanation as to why this is nonsense. Now on that video I made where I was responding to Harmon Smith celebrating the lawsuit that Nintendo is filing on YUZU, obviously I was playing Mario Kart DS in my background, and this viewer right here had this to say about it. So how did he, and he's speaking about me when he says he, get his copy of Mario Kart DS onto his PC, which I'm sure he has no dumping machine? One, I'm not even gonna count that many zeros, dollars. Does he have the machine to copy DS carts to a PC? Fuck no, lol. He illegally downloaded from the internet. He claims the last DS is up a giraffe's ass. How does he know? Did he stick his hand up all the giraffe's asses? LOL, I have 2 DS's. You realize to dump a game to a PC, you don't need any special machine or anything like that. All you need is a DS. Then you mod that DS and dump your games to your PC. So if you notice like 2 of your buttons on your DS, let's say, are breaking, that is a perfect time to dump the game to your PC using some software. Like let's say my R button broke. Then I can dump the game to my PC and sleep safe at night knowing that nothing is going to happen to my game and I can still play it no matter what. Personally for me, when it comes to like DS and 3DS, I dump my games when I realize that the system is getting old and buttons are starting to wear out. And I'd recommend everyone else do the same. Or let's say you want to sell the DS, you don't want to use it anymore, and you just want to have all your games on, let's say, the Steam Deck. You can just go ahead and dump all your games, then sell your DS. And if someone were to go out and illegally download a DS ROM off the internet, who is it hurting? Because the game isn't sold anymore, the DS isn't sold anymore, nobody is negatively affected. It's like stealing from the garbage dump. I mean, who's actually getting hurt? As for the giraffe's ass part, obviously that was a joke. I was saying that the DS was so rare that eventually there's only going to be one left in the world, and it's going to be up a giraffe's asshole. Obviously, like, this is a joke, and you can find a DS easier than, you know, going out and searching every giraffe's asshole. Andrew then leaves a comment saying, "I'm guessing you completely missed the beginning of the video. He doesn't believe pirating games not sold anymore is wrong, which is how the majority of us feel. After all, Nintendo isn't losing any money when we pirate something they refuse to sell. Also, maybe he doesn't want to play on a DS. Maybe he wants to play all of his games on one platform in a better resolution and widescreen." The man-child then replies to this comment saying, "You're not a Nintendo simp, you're just dick-riding RGIS sneaky dude from the Pirate Bay," laughing emoji. Quotes, "Also, maybe he doesn't want to play on a DS, maybe he wants to play all of his games on one platform in a better resolution and widescreen. LOL, quote-unquote better resolution? What a dumb bitch. Ah yes, I'm a dumb bitch because I'd rather play a game on an emulator rather than a piece of plastic that isn't sold anymore. Ah yes, how dumb of me." Game preservation is piracy. If people have access to old games that just work, they won't buy the new games that don't. That cuts into Nintendo's revenue, and that is, by definition, piracy. That doesn't make any sense at all, because if that were the case, tons of people still have like working PS1s and shit, they wouldn't be buying the PS5. You know, people with N64s wouldn't be buying the new Nintendo consoles. Also, that's not what piracy is at all. Piracy is stealing. And, you know, emulation is just providing means to play a game on a console that wasn't intended for. And somebody here comes down by the name of Jackson and says, "Bait used to be believable." And I agree. And of course Kabulo, Mr. Manchild, comes down in the comments and says, "Not bait at all." Of course you would think that. The only reasonable comment in this comment section full of haters. I love how everyone is disagreeing with him and he doesn't think to himself, maybe I'm in the wrong here, maybe I should go educate myself, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. He goes, nah, they're just a bunch of haters. Everyone in this comment section is a flaming. Now, by the way, if anyone here was wondering whether the original commenter was being sarcastic or not, or trolling or not, yes, he was. Obviously, he wasn't being serious. On the video I made where YUZU was getting hit with a lawsuit, this person commented, "We need to start a GoFundMe for YUZU so they can fight Nintendo in court, and they would win if they made it to court." Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Sucks, I know. And Kabulo here comments, "LOL at YUZU win. Toy haters," not sure what he meant by that, "are so dumb and naive," and he censored the word dumb. How is this a dumb comment? YUZU could have won this lawsuit, or Nintendo could have won. Now, obviously Nintendo ended up winning, but I mean, it was definitely still a possibility that YUZU would win. Another viewer of my channel comments, "The lawsuit directly states that there is no legal way to play Switch games on anything other than a Switch. I hope the emulation scene isn't harmed in the long run from this lawsuit." Once again, I 100% agree with this viewer. The Switch has some great games. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and deny that. The Switch, I think, has the best games out of all three big platforms, well, not counting PC. But it would suck if we were forced to play those games on Switch, because the Switch itself isn't that powerful. Like, the hardware is like kind of outdated, so we're stuck playing at like 720p 20 FPS when we could be playing these games at 4K 60 FPS. Believe it or not, people in 2024 expect their games to run smoother than they did back on the Nintendo 64. I then left a comment saying Nintendo seems really obsessed with the way people play their games that they paid for, because the thing is, they've already paid for the games. Who cares what they play those games on? If I want to play Nintendo Switch games on the fucking Atari, I should be allowed to. Of course, Mr. Kabulo had to get in on the conversation, and he said, "Sneaky cacti, and you seem really obsessed by Nintendo." I mean, if you took one look at my channel, you'd know the most, like, I've talked about a group is PlayStation fanboys, and Nintendo's probably second, and then Xbox, and then PC. When it comes to my channel, I kinda have to work with what I'm given. I make videos on whoever I see acting like a fucking moron, whoever I think is gonna make the most entertaining video, and it turns out PlayStation fanboys seem to like to talk the most, then Nintendo, then Xbox, then PC, and this could have something to do with the fact that Nintendo and PlayStation are really popular, who knows. Also, it's insanely ironic that you're calling me obsessed when you've been in my comment section leaving hundreds of comments for the past 2 fucking weeks. On one of my videos where I was explaining why emulation wasn't piracy, this viewer right here commented, "I don't know, saying emulator isn't piracy because I as a single individual dump my own games is as dumb as saying all emulation is piracy." Okay, but the thing is with an emulator is it isn't piracy at all, but it does, like, provide a way to play pirated games. It also provides a way to play non-pirated games. I then explain that in those cases where you dump your own games, it isn't piracy at all and there's nothing wrong with it. The viewer then agrees with me. He says, yeah, but that's the thing. The grand majority of people using YUZU weren't dumping their games in order to use the emulators, especially when Tears of the Kingdom was leaked and playable 2 full weeks before release. That right there was piracy and you can't deny that. Okay, yes, those people pirated the games to play it on an emulator, but the emulator itself isn't piracy. The piracy is when these people went online and downloaded the leaked version of the game before it came out. So he's not wrong here. If they didn't dump the game, then they are pirating. And then of course none other than Kabulo decides to leave another response. But he will never admit it. He can't, because he doesn't have the honesty. The people you are talking about who pirated Tears of the Kingdom 2 weeks before the release are the people who follow his channel, and those like this. They are the people who, if you read the comment section, feel they have the right to pirate because Nintendo is bad and they must have the right to play at 4K, 3 laughing faces. There isn't a person here who plays legally without pirating. I repeat it, it's not my intention and it's all in the comment section. The coward cannot talk about it freely because he is afraid they will take away his channel. He is a coward who finds support in kids who steal, thinking of preserving because their parents' pocket money barely lasts them for a McMenu. I like how you say I can't admit it, but I say right here, yeah, if they're playing the game 2 weeks early or they're not redumping the game, they are pirating. Obviously no one has the right to pirate a game, but I'm not gonna sit here and cry and cope because somebody pirated a video game on the internet. I don't give a fuck. Now, if you're going to emulate a game that's, you know, available to buy at the moment, I think you should own a legitimate copy, but that's just my suggestion. Like, if people don't want to follow that suggestion and they just want to go download the game, then who am I to stop them? I hate this whole idea on the internet right now that everyone expects you to be some, like, moral judge or some shit. Like, no, I'm here to make videos and make people laugh. I don't give a fuck. The reason I'm not gonna openly come out and support piracy is because if everyone pirated, we wouldn't have any games anymore. I don't give a fuck that people are getting shit for free. Another reason why I'm not gonna openly support piracy is because of things like DRM that got implemented because of people pirating games, where you always have to be online so they can confirm that you own the fucking game. In one of my videos, I said that PS5 games run at 4K 30 minimum, which is true. I mean, I wish they were 1080p 60, but that's another conversation, which I have another video on that. But this guy right here comments beautiful bullshit that the majority of PS5 games run at 4K 30 minimum. They don't exist, but for Sneaky Coward, they are the majority. Most games on PS5 run at 4K 30. Once again, wish they were 1080p 60, but that's a conversation for another time. You can cope and deny it all you want, but the truth is the truth. A lot of the games run at 4K 30. On my video where I played Mario Kart DS in the background, this user commented, "You have illegally copied those games to play on illegal emulators, so you are a thief and deserve to go to jail for committing piracy." I love how he assumes just because I'm playing an emulated game that it's pirated. I'd love to hear your source for that. Oh wait, I think I already know what your source is.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Kabulo then leaves yet another comment. "This is a safe space for children with serious mental and understanding problems. One of the most respected followers in here is a with the avatar of a certain Russian guy I'm not gonna name because I don't want to get demonetized. I think that's enough, laughing faces. Also, they have a guy who loves whales. Okay, who the fuck cares?" I like how we're over here talking about emulators, and here you are talking about goddamn whales and people's avatar, because you know you can't argue any valid points, you just have to make up a bunch of bullshit and send insults people's way. On my most recent video I put out, Kabulo left another comment saying another piece of content for the mentally by Sneaky Coward, and 3 laughing faces. On my most recent video I made, this guy commented, "I'm getting tired of those people. I'm not a thief, I want to play my games on 4K 60 FPS in fucking 2024, and YUZU didn't die. Nintendo did nothing but spawning tens of YUZU forks and advertising emulation." And of course, Kabulo left a reply saying, "Don't worry, your autism is still peak." Of course, he immediately jumps to insulting because he doesn't want to argue the actual point that the original commenter is making. Another commenter basically agrees with the original commenter, saying, "Exactly, Nintendrones don't understand basic consumer rights or how the internet works. Keep playing the games that you legally own the way you want to play them. Don't listen to anyone else says." Kabulo got mad that people weren't agreeing with him, and he said, "Among autistics, you guys understand each other perfectly," and 3 laughing faces. Of course, he immediately jumps to insulting once again because he can't argue the actual point being made. So we're going to go over one final comment by Mr. Kabulo here, and it's honestly just a big rant. It's pointless to read it because it's incoherent as fuck. And somebody replies, "That's a lot of SEETHE, is this Harmon's alt channel? Also, Suzu is here, cope and SEETHE." Now, Mr. Kabulo here didn't appreciate the reply left to his comment, so he replied with 3 more replies, each containing 1 letter, K. He then left another comment saying Y, and then one final one saying S, which means, you know, it means exit the server, if you get what I mean. Now, for as stupid as his comments were, I don't want anyone to go harass him. Obviously he's just seeking attention, and I guess I just gave it to him, so whatever, let's move on. On my video I made where Harmon Smith was celebrating Nintendo dropping a lawsuit on YUZU, Ramrod here commented, "You know 100% nobody is dumping games, period, point blank, boy kid." Okay, that's a weird insult. Alright, he left another comment saying, "Why you so worried about another man, kid girl? This is ironic because you're in my comment section worried about me worrying about another person." So, I mean, the exact same comment could be turned around towards you. And he left one more comment. "You sound like a massive pussy, literally seething, repeating 100 times. The reason I have to keep repeating that emulation is not piracy is because stupid motherfuckers on the internet refuse to acknowledge that. Second of all, you call me a massive pussy, but yet you censored your own comment because you were scared that YouTube was gonna delete it. Which, by the way, YouTube still held your comment for review and I had to go in and manually accept it, so, you know, good job." So Kabulo left a comment that I ended up pinning. That's not the point of what we're going to be reading out here, but he left a comment that I pinned where he was basically just crying about wheels or some shit in the Mario Kart gameplay. And this guy commented, "Of course the uploader pinned your comment. I noticed this guy is making a living," which by the way, I'm making nowhere near a fucking living, "off calling out random users and taking their conversations out of context like in his new video to the point of not censoring people's names to prevent witch hunting. He could have asked their permission or leave those people alone. Nice first impression as I'm new to this channel. He reminds me of Demeech, who does just about the same thing. I'll say regarding your comment, as I do agree with you, people have their reasons to use emulators and prefer piracy while using anything but original hardware. That's completely on them and it's their choice, not that I'm defending anyone against you." Okay, I really want to talk about this witch hunting point. The point of my videos is never to harass anybody or make anybody feel bad about themselves. It's simply disagreeing. It's either made to be funny or to inform. And a lot of the time it's a mix of both. I kind of want to, you know, get a few laughs out of people like, haha, look, this guy's defending a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And then, like, inform them as to why they're wrong. I'm not coming on here making fun of these people's appearances, making fun of their, like, living situations, anything like that. I'm simply here to talk about their opinions on plastic boxes. So to say that I'm inciting harassment or promoting witch hunting is actually I remember when I was younger and I used to watch a lot of big commentary channels, they would get this criticism thrown against them all the time that they were promoting witch hunting and whatever, and I never ever understood it because the only person that's in control of their own actions is them. I'll make it as clear as I can. I don't condone witch hunting these people and harassing them. Obviously, if you do that, I can't really welcome you here on the channel, but some people just aren't going to fucking listen. Another thing I'd like to say is the fact that you get upset at me for pinning this guy's comment, but you have no problem with him telling viewers of my channel to... So which was worse in your guys' mind? Pinning a comment that you think is stupid, or telling someone to... Also, you're talking about YUZU as if it's piracy whenever you use it, but it's not. You can legally redump your games and play them on YUZU, so there's nothing wrong with that. On my video I made about Harmon getting mad over Dark Souls players, I received this comment right here. "Bitch, Dark Souls hasn't even earned half of what Zelda has, okay? Dark Souls hadn't been around as long as Zelda. Dark Souls doesn't have the legacy of Zelda. Dark Souls doesn't have... There's no comparison, okay? Yes, it changed the industry, so fucking what? Zelda changed the industry 10 times over. Bitch." You can tell there were definitely tears running down this guy's face as he wrote out the word bitch in all capital letters at the end. Okay, so what? It still changed the gaming industry. It doesn't have to change it as much as Zelda did back in the day. On my video I made where Nintendo fanboys were celebrating the death of CRY and SEETHE, this guy commented, "You all do realize that there are new Nintendo DS straight from Nintendo available to buy, and with that you can buy games from the Nintendo eShop? Yes, you can say that not every game is available, but that's a different topic, and Nintendo have all rights to complain about piracy. Now, I thought this one was interesting because I've never seen a site where I can go to and buy a Nintendo DS straight up. But if this exists, then okay, fair enough. But the thing is, I've never seen this, and I'm not buying second-hand because I don't like getting fucking scammed. It happened to me multiple times when I was younger, buying like old retro consoles or buying old retro games. I'd get them and they wouldn't fucking work. So I'd rather just emulate and not get scammed and not ruin my fucking day and not waste my money. So, you know. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. This is a pretty fun video to make. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And yeah, peace out.